Roadrunners in the dark jerseys, the Aggies in the whites. Aore Coachea and the high flyer, Tajay Moore, will tip it up. And we're underway. The Aggies have been great offensively in league games. They're averaging 77.5 points per game in conference games. They're shooting almost 50% as well.
Well, here's something I didn't expect. It looks like Bakersfield's in a sort of a 3-2 zone, or maybe a 1-2-2 zone.
Roadrunners do have really good length on the perimeter. Deep three for Gilliard. Spins in, the roll for Evan Gilliard.
That feathery touch for the left-hander from Chicago.
Gilliard, who became eligible in mid-December after transferring in from UTEP, he's shooting 42% from distance for the year. Baseline jumper is too strong for Greg Lee, who was scoreless last weekend against Seattle. Terrell Brown for three, 6-0 Aggies.
Well, he's about 54% in WAC play, Terrell Brown, who just, it was strange, you know, his groin was bothering him and he just could not shoot the ball with the groin injury, but now he's just been on fire the last few weeks.
And Chris Giants talked this week about Terrell Brown's emergence, and he said even when he wasn't shooting the ball well in non-conference games, opponents were still keying in on him.
Well, I think that's right, and it says a lot about Chris Jans. A lot of coaches would have gave up on him and thought, well, he's lost for the year, but boy, he has really reemerged, Terrell Brown.
Aore Coachea in the high post. Wing to wing for Gilliard in the key. Teardrop for the left-hander is no good. And the rebound is ripped in by DeMonte Buckingham. 6-0 Aggies, 18:20 left here in the first half. Czar Perry to the rim, high floater over the outstretched arms of Johnny McCants.
Well, he's a big, athletic-looking guard. He's much bigger than what the Aggies are used to playing against.
A lot of these Roadrunner guards are 6'2", 6'3", or 6'4", and they all rebound well. Baseline, Aore Coachea, Cuddy McCants, and one for Johnny.
Well, oftentimes, Adam, when a team attacks the zone by just shooting three-point shots, the opposing coach will stay in the zone. But in this case, the Aggies were able to penetrate the zone. Nice pass to Johnny McCants.
One of the underrated aspects about the Aggie big men is they all pass well. Johnny does, so does Ivan Aore Coachea and C.J. Bobbitt.
They've had a long tradition in the last few years of, remember Simbulara was a terrific passer. Sure. Eli Chua was a terrific passer.
9-2 Aggies, 2:10 in, first half action here at the Pan Am Center tonight. Glad you could join us. Handoff goes to Tajay Moore. Good high hedge for Aore Coachea. They spin it down low. Good post entry in the deuce for Sean Stith Jr., the big fellow from East Oakland, California. Balanced scoring attack this year for the Roadrunners. Leading scorer is Moore, who only averages 12 a game. Aggies reverse it. They find an open Gilliard. He makes another. Evan 2 for 2.
What's one of the things I've noticed about Gilliard, Adam, he may be the Aggies' best player at moving without the ball. He's really slippery without the ball. He's got a knack for finding the open spot, as he just did there in the corner.
I've said this before. It's always better, I feel like it, when a left-hander shoots it. It looks better, doesn't it? It looks smoother.
Well, everybody looks smoother than me, but yes, I agree with you. It gives you an advantage. There's another lefty there.
That's Tajay Moore, who's shooting 41% on trays this year. That's 5th best in the WAC.
And they've come out of the zone. Well, the zone didn't last very long. I'll tell you, frankly, Adam, I was really surprised by the zone. And I think Rod Barnes realized it wasn't working too well.
Another good cut. +1 for Jabari Rice. Assist number 2 for the big man, Ivan Aore Coachea.
Boy, here's another, the game's always full of surprises, but the Aggies have been able to really pierce the Bakersfield defense, as we see a nice pass by the big Spaniard to Jabari Rice.
Rice 13 of 15 on free throws in conference games. 81% for the year. Pretty good start for the Aggies offensively. This is very similar to their previous home game against Kansas City a few weeks ago. All right, now NM State 5 of 6 for the field, 3 of 3 from 3. Double team comes on Stith, and he muscles his way inside. 4 for Stith.
Well, you don't see that happen too much
No.
either. Johnny McCants gives up so much ground defensively. But Stith is a big boy now. He looks like he's 270.
Listed 6'8", 265 from Oakland.
Okay, that was close.
Roadrunners will always pressure you on the arc, as well as anybody. Under 10 to shoot for Aore Coachea. 4 to shoot for Ivan. Left-handed fade hook, and that one pinballs in. The Aggies are getting all the rolls.
Well, there's no panic on the Bakersfield bench there. The Aggies, have they missed a shot yet?
Only one.
Yeah.
Roadrunners have only missed twice. They're 4 of 6. They made 4 in a row. The Richmond transfer, DeMonte Buckingham, defended by Rice. Mid-range jumper, pinballs off. That was Greg Lee, who's now 0 for 2 from the field. Flashing high, Aore Coachea, backing down Stith. Stays on his feet. Layup no good, but he will shoot 2 when we come back from break. Ivan Aore Coachea has attempted 19 free throws in the previous 2 games, and he'll shoot his first 2 when you come back from break. The Aggies trying to stay undefeated in the WAC. They're looking for their 10th win in a row. They lead early here at the Pan Am. We're back with you here at the Pan Am Center. Adam Young alongside Russ Bradford. The Aggies trying to go to 7-0 in the WAC. They're the only league team with less than 2 league losses. Right now the Roadrunners have 2, so does California Baptist. And we're seeing 2 of the better rebounding teams around the country going at it today. There you see the rebounding numbers. And Bakersfield always plays a tough non-conference schedule, so 10 and 11. Not all that pretty, but they've been better in league play, 4 and 2. And both teams defend well, allowing less than 70 points per game. The Aggie offense has taken off the last month or so. Ivan Aore Coachea to the free throw line for 2. The Aggies 6 of 7 from the field, 3 of 3 from 3. And they're moving spectacular without the basketball right now.
Yes, and that has really surprised me because Rod Barnes' Bakersfield team is known for taking you out of your offense and everything, being very stingy and having to earn everything, but the Aggies have really had their way offensively up to this point.
They've also made all 3 free throws. Aore Coachea 68% in conference play. And he really struggled from the foul line during non-conference action. The Aggies with some full court pressure. CJ Bobbitt just checked in. So did Sean Buchanan, who's been really good the last week or so. Meanwhile, for the Roadrunners, Cam Allen has the ball. He's in off the bench. Roadrunners will play about 10 guys. Very similar to the Aggie depth a year ago. Inside, outside. Good ball movement to Czar Perry. Now reset for Allen. Transfer from Loyola Marymount. Slips with 2. Fires a 3 over Brown, and he swished it in. They're going to check it at the next dead ball, but for now it's a 3 for a 43% three-point shooter.
Well, and Terrell did all he could there. He's right on top of him. That's a heck of a shot.
Gilliard's had the hot hand early. That one might have been rushed. Tipped by Brown, right to Bobbitt. Aggies go cross court. Buchanan, pump fake, a drive and a dish. Beautiful feed by Sean Buchanan. Ivan Aore Coachea on the finish.
Yeah, great move by Sean Buchanan. He's just, always making the right decision, it seems like.
Perry in the corner, and a foul is called away from the ball. Foul goes on CJ Bobbitt.
Well, this is just another pretty easy shot for the Aggies. It's really surprising how they've been able to penetrate the defense.
3 is off the mark for Buckingham. The bottom line of that previous play, it's a guy who knows his role and knows what he does well. He's not a three-point shooter.
Yes, for the last 3 years, he's been doing that. That's right.
Not many guys would be unselfish like that and understand their role. Sean Buchanan can make a three-pointer, but that's not his game. His game is finding his teammates, defending, rebounding well for a guard. And Chris Jans had a really, really good message at the press conference this week. He said, without Queen, we're limited at the three position. So he said Sean Buchanan is playing some three because he's so smart. He knows how to play every single position on the floor. And he said, you know what? He's like, I think he might have learned every single position because he knows it increases his chances of playing more.
Well, maybe he's a future coach, do you think?
Might be. Bobbitt backs down the defender, Justin Edler-Davis, and a jump ball is called. Good help defense for the Roadrunners. Sean Buchanan has said he wants to coach, and Chris Jans said at the press conference on Monday that he would be a really good coach if he chooses that profession. Buchanan defending Allen. Allen on the pitch out. Perry fires it out of bounds. Nobody around. Turnover on the Roadrunners. Rod Barnes thought the pass was deflected.
Well, Cam Allen with a perfect pass, but
yeah, it might have been deflected.
Well, don't say it too loud. The official might hear you.
All this rebounding talk, and the Aggies with 5, Bakersfield only 1. Now, there hasn't been many misses on either side, but right now the Aggies +4 in rebound margin. Not a good post entry for Buchanan. Well, stolen by Cam Allen. Allen coast to coast for 2. He has 5 off the Roadrunner bench.
And the last 2 plays, Adam, is more what we're used to seeing from Rod Barnes' teams. Is just really, really scrambling help and sort of a feisty defense.
The Aggies looking for McCants. They finally get it to him. Bodied up by Darren Person Jr. Bobbitt took a blow to his face. Stolen by the Roadrunners. Allen, another 3. He has 8 off the bench. His season average is only 7.
Well, and that's 3 times in a row now where Bakersfield help has stifled the Aggies. So, for whatever reason, they came out kind of sluggish defensively, which I'd never seen. Never seen a Bakersfield team do that since Rod Barnes has been there. But now they seem to have gotten on track defensively.
Rice back out for Bobbitt. Fires a 3 and misses shallow. Wiped off the glass by Darren Person Jr., who did not play last time out with an Achilles injury. So he's back in there, and he adds to this depth for the Roadrunners. Allen's been the difference. He's defended here by newcomer Sean Williams. Right back to Allen. Steps back a long 2. Wide right for Allen. Lob ahead for Rice. Euro step, finger roll, swatted away by Person. Rice operates on the baseline, steps through, missed the floater, too strong off the back iron.
Well, it would have taken great body control. He almost had that one, but sort of going sideways and put the shot up.
Scoreless drought of nearly 3 minutes now for the Aggie offense, and it was such a good start in the first 4 minutes plus. Roadrunners will slow the game down. This is what they do. They want to keep this one in the 50s here tonight. Perry to the rim, high off the window, and it's a 1-possession game.
Well, now everything's gotten turned around, Adam. It's Bakersfield shooting layups, and the Aggies can't seem to get a good shot up.
Buchanan bounces off the defender, can't spin it home. And this one will go to CSUB. Roadrunners on a 7-0 run. The Aggies scoreless drought is almost at 4 minutes. The Aggies led by as many as 10. The lead is down to 2. Should be a good one tonight here in Las Cruces. NM State Athletics Director Marty Amocha honoring the 1974-75 NCAA tournament team right now on the floor here at the Pan Am Center with 10-11 left here in the first half. Well, we've talked about it. There's been so many injuries that have hurt the Aggies this year. A.J. Harris, injured ankle. He's out indefinitely. Wilfred Lakai never played a game this year. ACL tear in the preseason. Clayton Henry injured in the preseason, came back for a game, re-injured. This one a broken bone in his hand. And the latest is Trev Queen, meniscus tear, out 4 to 6 weeks. The timeline should get Queen back at the tail end of conference play right around late February, so he should get a game or two in before WAC tournament time, but you just never know how these guys heal.
Well, and it's really remarkable. You touched on it earlier with all the Aggies that are hurt. How does Chris Jans, how does he do it? Not just that he's holding them together, he's winning the league without 3 starters.
9 straight wins, 19 straight conference home wins, 21 straight WAC regular season wins, which is a new conference record. It's been remarkable. Roadrunners on a 7-0 run. By the way, this is CSUB's final year in the league. They're going to move to the Big West starting next season.
Well, I say good riddance. They're always tough. I'm only half kidding. I guess it makes sense for them, but
you say that because of how hard they are to play against.
Yeah, they're yeah. I just think if you're an Aggie fan, you're happy to see them go, but they do bring great competitive spirit to the league, and they're just a really well coached team. As I said before, I think everyone knows that Chris Jans is one of the top coaches in the country. Rod Barnes may be the most underrated.
Aggies bring Aore Koachea back in for Bobbitt.
So when I said good riddance, I was joking.
I knew what you meant.
All right, good. No, it's just that they're always a thorn in the Aggies' side, and they always have the Aggies on the verge of, and then they beat the Aggies in the WAC tournament the one year to go to the NCAA tournament.
Diedrich Basil hit a game-winning 3 over Pascal Siaka. 6'9" future NBA star was defending Basil on the shot that sent the Roadrunners to the NCAA tournament back in 2016. The Aggies had really good ball movement early on in the game. It's kind of been stagnant since. A holding call down low is called on Darren Person Jr., who once again is recovering from an Achilles injury. Did not play last weekend, but he's back in there here tonight and playing a lot of early minutes off the Roadrunners bench. Two personals now are Tajay Moore. That foul was on Person, but Moore is on the bench with 2. Aore Koachea trying to turn the corner. Outside for Rice with 1 on the timer. Buries the 3.
What a beautiful shot he has. And the pass wasn't quite there, but Jabari Rice adjusted well. The pass was a little bit behind him, but he just caught it in stride and knocked it down.
Rice 10 of 18 from 3 in the previous 5 games. The Aggies are shooting 41% from 3 in WAC games this year. A lot of minutes early for Williams, who defends Perry. Perry got by him. Right back to Perry. Allen from the wing. He has 8 off the bench. Reverse layup is short, and Buchanan rips in the rebound. He had 6 last weekend. Quickly to Aore Koachea, muscles inside and gets whistled for a charge as he lowered the shoulder right into Person.
That's a rare call against Aore Koachea. He's so smart inside. He's so great at sort of gaining ground.
Lowered the shoulder just enough.
Just enough, and it caught him just at the right time. It probably looked worse than it was.
He's a strong guy now, Ivan Aore Koachea, who is listed 6'8", 235, and he's put together pretty well.
I think that's right. Boy, is he tough, and the Aggies are going to miss him next year.
4 Aggie turnovers in the previous 5.5 minutes. Yet they lead by a handful. Stith is double-teamed. He fires way outside for Allen. Perry blocking foul Buchanan. He's so good at drawing charges just like that, and that call goes against him.
Well, let's slow it down. Well, the referee's in the way. It was pretty close.
What makes him so good at drawing charges, usually against guards, is he beats them to the spot.
Yes. And he's tough as nails. That helps
Very
too.
true, yeah. Willing to sacrifice his body for sure. That was the first arm Buchanan. Gilliard came in for him. Roadrunners will use clock again. We've seen them do this so many times over the years where they just really slow the game down. Under 10 to shoot, pick and pop for Lee. Back out for Allen. Only 2 to shoot for Lee. Air ball in the hands of Aore Coachea. Aore Coachea on the spin move. What a move by the senior.
I mean, you could almost teach young players how to play in the low post offensively by watching Ivan Aure-Coachea. I mean, just really good fundamentals, really good footwork. He almost never travels.
Buckingham with a pull-up. That ends a 2-minute and 40-second scoreless drought for the Roadrunners.
Now remember, Devontae Buckingham was the freshman of the year in his conference when he played at the University of Richmond.
The Atlantic 10, which is a really good deep league. Richmond always has a good program, and Buckingham transferred into the Roadrunners. Missed all last season because of NCAA transfer rules. A foul is called away from the ball. Sean Stith Jr. just having some issues trying to handle the veteran Ivan Aure-Coachea, who now has 8 to go along with a pair of rebounds. Aure-Coachea averaging 14 points per game in conference games, and he's given the Aggies a 26-20 lead late in half one. Adam Young along with former Aggie assistant coach Russ Bradford. There's a look inside the Aggie bench. A couple of injured guys, Clayton Henry and Trev Queen. Christians and the Aggies ahead by a half dozen with under 7 left here in the first half. And tonight's game is sponsored by Geico here on 3.0 night at the Pan Am Center. We're going to see well over 200 student athletes with GPAs over 3.0 get honored during halftime tonight on the Pan Am Center floor, and a big thanks to Geico Careers for sponsoring tonight's game. Well, Russ, what have you seen so far?
Well, before I get to that, Adam, I do want to say every time I talk to Mario Moccia, that's all he ever talks about is academics. I know he's proud of the all Aggie athletes. Well, I think it's just as we talked about Terrell Brown having 2 seasons, I think that it's been 2 games. In the first 5 or 6 minutes, the Aggies did whatever they wanted offensively, and it did not seem like a typical Bakersfield team, but they've got things turned around here, and they've been very stingy. The Aggies have really struggled since that time.
That foul on Stith right before the timeout was his second personal, so he has 2. Moore has 2, and Ivan Aure-Coachea has scored 10 points.
It's a clinic with him with his inside game. His footwork is so good, and he's so smart around the basket.
Oh, traveling violation, and Evan Gilliard forced that one. I think one of the biggest adjustments when you come into this program is how hard you have to guard, and Evan Gilliard from Simeon High School in Chicago is buying in quite well.
I think that's right, and that's not to knock the UTEP coaches where he played. Down in El Paso, they just needed him to score a lot of points, and the Aggies have a little more firepower, and he's been able to just show the all-around game that he was known for in Chicago at Simeon High School.
Bumping foul is called on DeMonte Buckingham, so now the Aggies will shoot 1 in the bonus. That was foul number 7 on CSUB, and Terrell Brown will go to the free throw line. He's 10 of 11 in his previous 3. And that is the first Aggie miss. 4 of 5 on free throws. Bakersfield 0 of 2.
Well, I thought the Aggies might go with Will McNair at some point here.
Buckingham for 3, splashes it in. Chris Chance knew it before he shot it. The Aggies missed an assignment in Buckingham, who's a pretty good three-point shooter, 31%. Got a good look. Two-possession game, late in half one. 10 for Aure Coachea. Two guys with 6 for the Aggies, Rice and Gilliard. Gilliard had 6 early, and 2 made threes.
Look at Big Yvonne, just gets the ball where he wants it, down low every time.
Brown for 3, swirls off. His first miss. And here come the Roadrunners again, trying to slow it down, use some clock. Gilliard defends Kim Allen. They'll start their offense with 10 to shoot. Perry on the dribble drive, swatted by McCants. Rice will push. Attacks, layup no good. Foul on Buckingham.
Well, pretty good block by Johnny McCants helping out. I think Chris Jans was disappointed in his defensive effort in the first 2 possessions, but McCants has been terrific in the last for the last 14 minutes.
That's Buckingham's 3rd foul. And right now, no sub at the scorers table for the Roadrunners. Now they'll sub somebody in. So Buckingham has 3. Rice spins off the free throw. 2 straight misses for the Aggies. Tajay Moore will come in for Buckingham, and Moore has 2 fouls, so he's in some foul issues as well. The Aggies have led by as many as 10. Roadrunners have not led. They fell behind by 10 and then went on a 7-0 scoring run. Quiet start for Moore, who averages a team best 12 a game. He only has 3. He's only played 7 minutes because of 2 personals. Moore, deep 3 from the wing, splashes it in. Roadrunners can't miss. 4 of 7 are triples. The Aggies also 4 of 7. So these 2 teams, they combined 8 of 14. Bobbin looks for the answer. He gets the answer.
Well, see, like that pass from Evan Gilliard there. A year ago, I don't think he would have thrown that pass. You know, there was a couple times in El Paso where he'd go 2 or 3 games without an assist, and I think he just felt like he had to score more. But he doesn't have to now, and he's just been a key part. That was a perfect pass by Evan Gilliard.
Lost the handle. Aure Coachea forces the turnover. Roadrunners shooting 58%. The Aggies shooting 61%. Both offenses are sizzling here in WAC play tonight. Sponsored by Geico Careers, NM State, and CSUB Bakersfield. The Aggies ahead by 6. The Aggies always seem to have somebody who steps up down the stretch in big-time situations. They had it last weekend against UTRGV, and earlier this week, Aggie head coach Chris Jans talked about players stepping up in his program since his arrival.
To be honest with you, take this the right way, but since we've been here, I've always felt that way about the teams that we've had. You know, maybe different players doing it, but we've got a lot of confidence in our group, in how we practice. And it doesn't surprise me when kids step up in our program and make those kind of plays. We expect them to. We don't necessarily know who it's going to be on any given night, and I think that's what's made our team special for the most part is you just can't key on one person.
Aure Coachea has been the one to step up here tonight. 10 points on 4 of 4 from the field, 2 of 2 on free throws. Bakersfield Russ, one of the best offensive rebounding teams in the country. How many do they have so far?
Well, 0.
0. That might be one of the biggest differences so far, right?
But they're hanging in there too, and both teams are shooting the ball very well. It's been pretty mistake-free basketball. And we talked about what fine coaches both teams have.
At times, the Roadrunners' best offense is just off putbacks, misses, and then stickbacks. They're not missing much. And Cam Allen especially, he has 10. Once again, he only averages 7. And the Aggies throw it away, unforced.
Well, you don't see that very much from Sean Buchanan. Here's Cam Allen again.
Ball's been in the hands of Allen a ton. So Perry usually the one who runs the offense. Here's Allen again. Little hesitation on Buchanan. 10 to shoot for Edler Davis. Allen goes away for the ball screen. A tough 2. Give him another. Cam Allen potentially on pace for a career night.
Wow.
He was scoreless last Saturday versus Seattle. Only played 4 minutes. He had 2 combined points in the previous 2 games.
What's gotten into him? One of the other interesting things about Bakersfield as we watch Cam Allen, look at the great arch he gets on that. But they're pretty much devoid of California kids other than Sean Stith. It's mostly kids from, and many Southern kids. I noticed that Rod Baker, I think, feels comfortable recruiting the South.
The foul is called on Person well away from the basket. And it's a pretty big foul problems right now for the Roadrunners. 3 on Buckingham, 2 on Stith, Moore with 2, and Person just picked up his second. 1-1 for Aore Coachea, who is 2 for 2 for the game. We're mentioning the Southern connections for Bakersfield. Rod Barnes hasn't been in Mississippi for a while, but he's still getting guys from Mississippi. Tajay Moore, their star, is from South Haven, Mississippi. Rod Barnes, a former head coach at Ole Miss, and he had Jarkel Joyner for a couple of years, an Oxford guy, so his connections are still in place.
I think that's
in
right.
The South.
Well, he was National Coach of the Year at University of Mississippi, which is sort of an indication of the crazy ups and downs of college basketball. Because that's one of the top leagues in the country. But yeah, I think he has a terrific reputation in Mississippi and throughout the South.
2 minutes left, a 3-point game. Justin Edler Davis pinballs off the 3, and Aore Coachea snatches his 3rd board. Curling Rice. He has Aore Coachea, turns to the basket, flips it in on the reverse.
And he's so, he just has a million moves down there. He can use either hand and turn either way.
Game high 13 for Yvonne, who scored 19 in each of the previous 2. This is Czar Perry, transfer from Holmes Community College in Mississippi. Began his career at Division I Northwestern States. 7 to shoot. Now they'll initiate the offense. Kick out, Allen for 3. Finally misses. Another rebound snatched in by Aore Coachea.
And that was in and out, that one.
For 3. He's feeling it. That's only his 7th attempted 3. Why not?
Well,
if you're scoring everywhere else. That's the part of Yvonne's game where he's really improved his perimeter shooting. Czar Perry, dribble drive to the baseline, back outside, step in 3 for Edler Davis, missed it short. McCall beats Rice to the ball, but he was out of bounds on the sideline. .29 seconds left, shot clock is off. Chris Jans will draw something up. Who do you go to here? Do you just go to Yvonne and work through him?
Well, the way he's playing now, I think it won't surprise me if they start with Yvonne. The thing that drives me crazy that I hope the Aggies don't do is hold the ball till the last second before they do anything with it. But I'd like to see him go to Yvonne and see if there's a double team, maybe they can, maybe the big fella can toss it out to an open Aggie.
Aggies will host the annual Pack the Pan Am game on Saturday here at the Pan Am Center. Limited seats available right now. 575-646-1420. Doesn't have the luster I think it usually does game-wise because Grand Canyon has struggled so much, but it is still going to be a great crowd, a great atmosphere. The Aggies are playing well. Grand Canyon surprisingly struggling this year.
I think that's right. I think everyone expected another great Grand Canyon team. But also don't forget, they always seem to bring a few hundred fans, and they their fans are serious fans. They're coordinated, and they have the sort of the rehearsed cheers and that kind of thing.
We know they will bring former Aggie head coach Marvin Menzies, who's now an associate head coach on Dan Marley's staff.
Well, he was always really, really well loved here, Marvin Menzies. He had a terrific record and just was really well liked in the community.
Gilliard with the ball. Aure Coachea at the foul line right now might be waiting to apply a ball screen. Waiting for Jans, who says go. Gilliard doesn't use it. Wide open McCann straight away. That's short.
Uh-oh.
And the shot is late from Czar Perry as it goes over the backboard. Decent look for the Aggies. Might not have been the guy they wanted to get the look, but a decent look nonetheless. Both teams shot well. 55% for the Aggies, 54% for the Roadrunners. 35-30 halftime comes your way next. Here we go. Half number 2 underway. I'm a little surprised Bakersfield doesn't start Allen here in half number 2. I know a lot of coaches will just go with the starters, but Allen was the guy in half 1 for CSUB.
Well, I wondered if he might start for Buckingham, who's got the 3 fouls. Uh-oh.
Good catch for Rice. Right down low to Aure Coachea. Inside outside for Rice, and he misses the 3. Snatched in by Czar Perry. Launches ahead for Buckingham. The alley-oop for Tajay Moore. Slipping, Aure Coachea slips off though. Here come the Roadrunners. Running out of the break. They have some athletes. Tajay Moore, one of those guys. We just haven't seen it so far tonight because he hasn't played much. Buckingham outside, a deep 3 for Justin Edler-Davis. And Aure Coachea clears for his 5th board. Aggie offense really smooth in the first 4 minutes plus in the first half. Then kind of went stagnant for a good stretch. They moved really well without the ball. Passed the ball well. Cut well in the first 4 minutes.
Here he goes.
Fadeaway jumper. We haven't seen that yet in his repertoire. 15 for Yvonne.
I mean, it's just like he's got the world's biggest toolkit down there. You know, he's just got all kinds of tools he can use.
Brown won't let Buckingham catch it, so Edler-Davis has to bounce outside for more. Now the reset was Czar Perry. Buckingham, low catch for Edler-Davis, running floater, short, gets his own miss. There's an offensive rebound for the Roadrunners. Their first board of the day.
Yeah, that's not a good sign either, because that's why you can't give him a second shot.
And now a timeout is called by Rod Barnes for CSUB. Their first offensive rebound. They're the 8th best offensive rebounding team in the country. And it leads to 2 for the Roadrunners. Good start for them in half 2. (37-34). The Aggie lead is cut down to 3 with 17:50 left here in the second half. In the first of 2 home games this week for the Aggies. Time now for our New Mexico State student athletes of the game. Tonight we recognize Carson Ferris from Aggie football and Chloe Garcia from Aggie swim and dive. Ferris is a 4.0 student. He majors in elementary education. Garcia also a 4.0, majoring and finance. New Mexico State University, be bold, shape the future. Well, we've seen how good this Roadrunners team can be, and earlier this week at his weekly press conference, Aggie head coach Chris Jans gave us this scouting report on CSUB.
They're relentless on the backboard on both ends. They're like 20th defensive rebounding. So, they eat, sleep rebounding over there, and then they just have an attitude about them. They're going to come in and we're going to big boy you. We're going to out tough you. We're going to outsize you. We're going to out heart you. We tend to think that our program is built on toughness, rebounding, and defense, but it's going to be tested to the max Thursday.
They rebound and they guard Russ, and tonight they're making a lot of shots. 54% from the field for CSUB.
And that's got to be some kind of recent Pan Am record for opponents' shooting percentage against the Aggies.
Now, a lot of those early shots for Cam Howland were difficult shots that he just made. Rice streaks in the paint, finger roll good. Johnny McCants almost touched it, but he laid off it.
Great body control by Jabari Rice, just waited till the last minute, and then Johnny McCants with a key decision not to touch it.
Rice with 9. He's been in double figures in 3 of his previous 5, and he's almost there again here in his 11th straight starts. Buckingham for 3. Wide left, McCants the board. McCants somehow doesn't travel. Rice with a dozen. He's back in double figures.
And he's imploring the crowd, but he doesn't need to. Everyone's standing, and suddenly it's deafening in here.
19 straight conference home wins. Pick and pop for Edler Davis, and he connects. His first make on his 4th try. Gilliard moves around a screen. His 3 is too long, and McCants falls hard to the ground, holding his backside. He's late to get back. So Perry's wide open, pull-up jumper, buries it. That's an easy look for Czar Perry. There's a 5-on-4. Johnny McCants was down on the other end. He appears to be okay now. That's the last thing the Aggies want right now is another injury. It's been a quiet night for McCants. He's been so involved lately, Russ, and he only has 3 points. He's only attempted 2 shots. And we'll head to break with under 16 left. Half number 2. It's a tight one. Roadrunners looking for a monumental road upset here at the Pan Am. We have a close one here at the Pan Am Center. 42-39 the score with 15:46 left here in the final half. Adam Young along with Russ Bradford. So glad you could join us here tonight. The Aggies haven't lost yet in conference play. The Roadrunners trying to get back in that WAC title race right now.
That's right, and it's a stubborn Roadrunner team, and they're shooting the ball really well. The one thing, the Aggies have kept them off the offensive board, but the Bakersfield never misses. It seems like they never miss anyway, so it looks like it's going to go down to the wire to me, Adam.
That was Cam Allen in the first half, and now in half 2 a little more balanced for the Roadrunners. They've outscored the Aggies 9-7 here in this half, and we still haven't seen Allen in this half. See if he's in to start this stretch for the Roadrunners. And now he is back in. So Allen in for the first time here in half 2, 11 in half 1. Buchanan with issues, fires in for Aore Coachea, rumbles down the lane, out of control, and he lost it.
That's the first bad decision he's made all game.
Adler Davis triggers again. Brown the rebound. Now the Roadrunners really crashing hard on the offensive glass. McCants, blocking foul. Roadrunners and Justin Edler Davis trying to draw a charge.
Well, that was clearly the correct call.
Aggies used to run a play with Trev Queen where they would lob it towards the cylinder and Queen would catch it and typically dunk it on the inbound. They don't have Trev right now with the injury.
We're getting nostalgic about Trev Queen.
The baseline out of bounds play is a little different. Long three, Brown. It was contested, and the rebound is pulled in by the big fella, Sean Stith Jr. Roadrunners can tie right here. Edler Davis not shy at all. He's attempted 6 threes. He's made a pair, and we're tied for the first time tonight.
Adam, believe it or not, that's a really difficult shot. He sort of pump faked and then shot the 3, and there's not many, Larry Bird could do it, but there's not many guys who can make that shot. And Edler Davis sure looked good doing it.
And there's not many guys who shoot it with confidence like he does. McCants backing down Stith. And that's offensive. Arciani McCants.
Well, I didn't see that. I thought he might have traveled, but I didn't see him push off.
Yeah, offensive foul, and they're going to check the monitor right now because of the McCants elbow on Stith. So they will check the monitor to see if this is flagrant. The foul on McCants is number 2. There was certainly an elbow there.
Yeah, I didn't. Did you think it was deliberate?
No,
Didn't look like it was deliberate to me. I just thought Johnny went in a little bit too far, a little further than his comfort zone.
But there's the elbow. Well, 3 officials here tonight. John Stigliano, Rob Kruger, and Paul Guerrero. Good crew.
Well, I certainly don't think there's any flagrant foul here.
Well, the reason why you believe he didn't commit an offensive foul is because there wasn't a whole lot of contact outside of the elbow.
Yeah, and it just didn't seem deliberate to me. I know a foul doesn't have to be deliberate, but yeah, I thought maybe they were calling travel there.
Just look to see if it was a flagrant. It was not a basketball play.
Well, that's what we suspected.
Yep.
We could have told him. We could have saved him time.
Thank you to Rob Kruger for checking in with us. So just a basketball move, no flagrant. I love the officials who think about the announcers.
Yes.
A lot of them do.
Yes.
A lot of them do, especially at this level.
Everyone should think about us.
You see our good friend Larry Spalding Saturday. He'll be a part of the crew. And the Aggies play Grand Canyon. Right now the Aggies locked in a tussle with Bakersfield. Spinorama for a stint, and that's a traveling violation. He was trying to do a little too much right there.
Well, I think big Sean Stith didn't appreciate the elbow to the chin, whether it was intentional or not, because look how aggressive he is here. And Johnny McCants sort of saves the day by helping out.
8-0 Roadrunners run. Scoreless drought of almost 3 minutes for the Aggies. Aure Coachea is wide open. Now they get it to him. Working on the much smaller Edler Davis. He missed it, and he's over the back. Chris Jans is livid.
Well, we'll have to take a look at that if we get a chance. Well, it was hard to tell.
Second foul on Aure Coachea. Bakersfield trying to take their first lead. Edler Davis again. That one was shallow. Aure Coachea had it slip off his hands, but he grabs it for rebound number 6. Rice is wide open. Rare miss for Jabari. Rice now 2 of 4 on trays. 42-42, 7 minutes in, half two. Allen, the lone Roadrunner in double figures. Aureko, Achea, and Rice both in double figures for the Aggies. A kick ball, and it will stay with CSUB.
And this is the new rule, right, Adam, where it gets reset to 20. Yeah.
Yeah, shot clock resets to 20 instead of 30. Three-point line was also moved back this year, approximately 1 foot and 5 inches, roughly. Inside, outside, Allen, who had 11.5, one, no good. Offensive rebound for Edler Davis, trying to throw it off Rice, and he can't do so. Numbers for the Aggies. Buchanan positioning for the Aureko Achea, no foul. The fans can't believe it. And now Jabari Rice will shoot 2. Christian says to the official, John Stigliano, well, you missed the first one.
And heads up play by Jabari Rice to be at the right place at the right time. He just keeps getting better and better. We talked about Tajay Moore maybe being the most improved, but Jabari Rice isn't far behind.
It's pretty physical early. It's turning out to be a really physical half number 2. Rice with 13. His season average is 12. And he knocks in both free throws. Really, ever since 5 or 6 minutes into the game, the Aggie offense has struggled at times. Field goal percentage down to 47%. The Aggies 3 of 10 from the field in the half. Cam Allen, defended by Buchanan, runs over Buchanan, that's a charge.
Well,
he does it in moments like that.
Yes, key moments like that. And that could shift the momentum here.
Christian said this week, he said, if you really don't know basketball, if you never played it, never coached it, don't really watch the game much, you probably don't see the value that Sean Buchanan has to our team because he doesn't score a lot. He's not a great shooter. He's not a big guy. He's not overly athletic, as some people will say, but he does stuff like that. It doesn't really have a number in the stat sheet, but if you watch basketball, you know how valuable he is to this team.
That's right, and sometimes he'll get the assist, and sometimes he'll make the pass to the guy who gets the assist. I mean, he's just a real important cog, but you wouldn't know it from looking at the stats.
Rice from the corner. Roadrunners have really keyed in on Aureko Achea in the half. Rebound for McCall after the Bobbitt miss. The Aggies 1 of 6 from 3 in the half. Such a great start shooting the ball from the perimeter. Under 12 left here in half 2. Person spins, leans into Aureko Achea, no foul called. And then we get a reach-in foul on C.J. Bobbitt on the rebound. The Aggies didn't have many issues keeping the Roadrunners off the glass in the first 20. And now the Roadrunners getting a lot of boards here in the final half. One possession game, 44-42 here at the Pan Am. Adam Young with Russ Bradford, and 2 defensive teams are grinding this one out. Tonight's game is sponsored by Geico, and it's a 44-42 score. And the defense in half 2 is up a notch, it seems like. Only 11 points for the Roadrunners in this half, only 9 for the Aggies.
That's right, and the Roadrunners have 3 more baskets on the night than New Mexico State. I mean, they've been impressive, Adam, and I think it's going down to the wire.
Sure seems that way. The Aggies are home for 5 of the next 7. Roadrunners are starting a 3-game road trip. 19 straight conference home wins for the Aggies, and the Roadrunners trying to move to 5-2 in the WAC. Currently in 3rd. They're right behind CBU. CBU a game and a half behind the Aggies at 5-2. The Aggies are 6-0 in the WAC. Long 2, short for the Richmond transfer DeMonte Buckingham, who still has 3 fouls. Evan Gilliard on the hesitation. To Jabari Rice. This is C.J. Bobbitt who slings it outside to Gilliard. Goes away from the ball screen, fakes the pass to the rim. Missed it short. It might have been blocked and or altered. And it will stay with the Aggies underneath.
Kind of a sneaky move from Evan Gilliard. Didn't quite work, but pretty good move. Watch him sort of hesitates and turns his head.
Does he remind you a little bit of A.J. Harris?
Well, you know, that's a good comparison. I hadn't thought of it. They're both quick as can be, both left-handed. Both can shoot the ball pretty well. I think he's actually a little bigger, isn't he?
A little bit. Alrey Coachea will shoot 2. Gilliard listed 5'10", 170. A.J. was listed 5'9", 170. The Aggies haven't made a field goal, by the way, in over 5 minutes.
Now there's 3 Bakersfield players with 3 fouls on the floor, Adam, and that's got to be a factor. If you're Chris Jans, they've got to keep attacking Bakersfield here, I think.
3 on Stiff, 3 on Person, and 3 on Buckingham. The Aggies are 10 of 13 on free throws. Bakersfield has only attempted 2, and they missed both. Justin McCall maneuvers across midcourt, tightly guarded by Rice. The Aggies all over the Roadrunners right now defensively. This is what CSUB will do. They will use clock. They will wait until about 10 on the timer to start their possession. 8 to shoot for Person. Looking for a guard. Bounces for Buckingham, who is stripped. Picked up by the big fella, Stitt, and he nails the mid-range jumper. Bodies flying everywhere. It was Terrell Brown who took the brunt of it.
It looks like Justin McCall got hit in the eye, maybe. He might have just caught a loose finger.
Yeah, right there, McCall couldn't go after the ball because his eye was poked. Stitt shows some range. And the officials just blew the whistle, I guess, to make sure McCall was okay.
Huh.
Yeah, so McCall goes to the bench, and he's still fiddling with his eye right now. A young man from Bakersfield. His father's the women's basketball head coach at CSUB, Greg McCall. 46-44, just outside of 10 minutes into the half. Rice waits for McCants, who's been quiet. Rice hasn't been quiet. He misses that jumper, though. Jabari with 14, 4 of 8 shooting now. And the Runners can tie or take a lead. Here they go again. Perry will hold it near midcourt. 10 on the shot clock. Nothing going on yet for the Roadrunners. Person working on McCants, who blocks his second on the ball game. 4 on the timer.
Well, if the Aggies can get a stop here, it'll be big. McCants perfect position. No body, all ball.
Perry will trigger. Finally gets it in. Brown tips it right in front of us. 1 came off the shot clock, so now 3 to shoot for the Roadrunners. You were ready to catch that ball, Russ.
Did you see me move there?
Yeah.
That's
you were in the triple threat before the ball was in your hands.
Pretty good for my age. Actually, I was ducking behind you. Oh.
Allen a long 2. Over the back is called on CSUB. Ronnie Reedus just came in for the first time tonight. Big man from San Diego, transfer from Fullerton College.
Big man is putting it mildly. He's a monster.
6'9", 240.
Yeah.
That was the first foul on Reedus. The Aggies 3 of 13 from the field in the half. They haven't made a field goal in over 7 minutes. Gilliard is bumped by Allen. And already the Aggies in the bonus, so Evan Gilliard, who has struggled from the foul line this season, will shoot 1 and 1.
This is a stubborn Bakersfield team, as always. That's what this is. That's why it was almost like they were imposters in the first 3 or 4 minutes. They gave up a lot of easy baskets, and then it all dried up.
Gilliard way off. 8 of 16 this year for a good shooter. One of the better shooters on the team. You just have to wonder when good shooters just can't capitalize on free throws. Probably more mental than anything. Adler-Davis draws a foul.
CJ,
Smart move with one on the timer.
Yeah, CJ had him right where he wanted him, but then jumped at the head fake.
That's the third on CJ Babbitt, the only Aggie with more than 2. That's just old school stuff there for Adler-Davis.
Yep.
Adler-Davis has struggled from the free throw line. Now 13 of 22 for the season. And that's the first made free throw for the Roadrunners. Tie number 2. Roadrunners have not led. The Aggies led by as many as 10. 6 minutes into the game. A very important 9-minute stretch. The Aggies trying to stay undefeated in the conference. Roadrunners trying to go to 5-2 and put themselves in the WAC title race. Vice can't find a teammate, finally feeds it off to Gilliard, who's well away from the hoop. Gilliard in the key, bounces to Rice, and he's slapped across his wrist by Justin Adler-Davis.
Well, pretty good patience by the Aggies there as Bakersfield kept taking them out of the offense, and then Aggies sort of didn't panic and were able to get the foul.
The Aggies have attempted 14 free throws, only 4 tries for CSUB. First one for the redshirt sophomore is good. Jabari Rice out of Houston, averaging 12 points per game this season. Last year, he only averaged 3 a game. Only played 11 minutes per game as a redshirt freshman last season. Do you feel like if there weren't all these injuries, we wouldn't have seen the breakout year for Jabari?
Well, it's possible. I hadn't thought of that, but I think it's entirely possible. Clayton Henry was ahead of him most of last year. But you know, Jabari Rice, he just looks like he's still growing to me. He's all legs. Mm-hmm. He's still a little bit thin. I think he's going to keep getting better and better.
Steal for Gilliard. And the Aggies will reset. That could turn out to be a huge play in the game.
Yes, if the Aggies can get a basket here.
Ore Coachea.
Well, big play by Evan Gilliard, and that's the first time I've seen Chris Jan smile in about an hour and a half.
First made field goal in 8 minutes. Timeout, Rod Barnes. This will take us to media. 8:05 left in the second half. The Aggies trying to fend off the pesky Roadrunners here tonight in Las Cruces. Tonight is 3.0 night here at the P&M Center and is proudly sponsored by Geico Careers. Adam Young along with Russ Bradford, 50-46, and that was a big change of events. The Aggies get a couple of made free throws for Jabari Rice, and then a steal for Evan Gilliard leads to a deuce for Ivan Ore Coachea. You can't predict the future, but it seems like that's a big change in the events as well in this game. We'll see.
Well, big turnaround right there as Evan Gilliard sort of sneaks. He's sneaky, quick, and crafty, and could be a key play here as the Aggies sort of for the first time seem to have the momentum shift in their favor.
There's a look at Allen, who scored 11 in the first half, and he has not scored in this half. 0 of 2 shooting. 19 points for Ivan Aore-Coachea for the third straight game. And Jabari Rice has 16. We talked earlier about how great these two teams were shooting the ball. Lately, not so much. The Aggies are one of their previous 9 from the field. Roadrunners, one of their previous 7. They have not made a field goal in over 2.5 minutes.
And Aggies in a zone here for the first time all night. Interesting move by Chris Jans.
Roadrunners got the ball in the high post, and Edler Davis was fouled. With 2 left to shoot, Chris Jans felt like he traveled. And that's what you want to do against a zone, is get that ball in the high post.
Yes, that's exactly right. Against any zone. I'm not sure how that was a foul exactly, but
Shot clock will reset to 20 on the foul. And now the Aggies back to a man-to-man. Allen checked by Brown. Ball screen, Edler Davis. Picks it, pops. They don't use him though. Stiff, aggressive move, can't finish. Stays with the Roadrunners. Edler Davis on the catch. Now to Kim Allen. The reset was Czar Perry. Perry, mid-range jumper, bingo.
boy, he's very good at that one. He's just the sort of that little 16-footer.
Roadrunners won't go away. They're within 2 again. They have not led, but we have been tied 2 times here in the half. Brown works his way to the rim. He's had a quiet night. Floater is short. Cleared by Buckingham. Huge difference between the 2 halves for the Aggies, especially offensively. 4 of 15 in this half, 1 of 6 on threes. NM State shot 55% in the first 20. Long 2 again. That one was blocked by McCants. He got a piece of it against Perry. Rice goes away from the ball screen. Rolling is Aore-Coachea. Extra pass to Brown. And a foul is called on the perimeter. Honestly, Russ, you could probably attribute a lot of these struggles. It's been against man-to-man. The Aggies went against a zone early. When they were at their best to start the game offensively, it was against a zone.
Well, that's right, and it makes I'm sure when he looks at the game film tomorrow, Rod Barnes will be regret that decision to start off in the zone, or maybe he won't. The game's not over yet.
Quiet night for Brown, quiet night for McCants. Johnny McCants only has 3 points, 2 rebounds. Now he does have 3 blocks. And right now he's on the Aggie bench. Offensive foul on Stiff. He can't believe
that's
it.
His 4th. That's a huge play. And it wasn't Sean Buchanan taking a charge. Stiff is frustrated, but I don't know how they could have called anything else on that. It's Terrell Brown's exactly where he's supposed to be. He weighs about half of what Big Sean Stiff does. Stiff is a very good player, by the way. I'm really impressed by him.
You have 265 leaning into 170 weight-wise right there, and Stiff will take a seat. That was his 4th. He's the lone Roadrunner with 4. They've had a lot of guys in foul trouble all night. Aore-Coachea going to work on Person. Right-handed baby hook. Bobbitt met by 2 defenders, and he came down with it. He jumped to pass, and he came down with the basketball, which, of course, is a traveling violation. He was trying to get it to Aore-Coachea, and he got caught in midair. The pass wasn't there. The halftime score was 35-30. Roadrunners have outscored the Aggies 18-15 here in the second half, and Gilliard riding Allen is whistled for the personal, number 6 on the Aggies. This game had a great pace to it, really good offensive play in the first half, and it's been the exact opposite here in the second.
It's shifted to the defense, but it's been a great chess match between two master coaches.
Allen trying to split defenders. He does, and there's a foul. It's on Evan Gilliard.
Well, Gilliard having a little trouble with Cam Allen. All the Aggies are having trouble with Cam Allen tonight.
Allen still looking for his first point in the half. He had 11 to pace the Roadrunners in the first half. He's still their high scorer. Buckingham will head off. Perry came in for him. Allen is a 78% free throw shooter. 1-1. Way short. Aure Coachea, rebound number 7. He has 19 points for the third straight game. What do you need to see here for the Aggie offense in this possession?
Well, they're having trouble. I was going to say they're having trouble getting open on the wings. Bakersfield is so stingy they can't even catch the ball. They're completely taken out of their offense here. Look at how they won't let them catch the ball anywhere.
4 to shoot for Gilliard. Running left-hander is no good. And it's scooped up in the corner by Allen. Fires ahead, extra pass and a jam for Tajay Moore. We're tied again.
Well, the Bakersfield defense is so good down at that end, Adam. They can't catch the ball on the wing.
Timeout, Chris Giants. Moore into double figures. He now has 10 in just 17 minutes of action. And we're tied for the third time tonight. Aggies 50, Roadrunners 50. Don't go anywhere. Exciting finish straight ahead. It's always close when these two programs meet, and it is close here tonight. 50-50, 4:15 left in the second half. 3 ties, no lead changes, no leads in this game for the Roadrunners. Trev Queen 1 year ago in Bakersfield. The shot of his season last year. Buzzer beater at the Icardo Center. The Aggies were down 2. Terrell Brown, the extra pass. Trev Queen, who then wore number 20, made the 3 from the wing. Sean Buchanan celebrated about as hard as anybody celebrated. And the Aggies able to come back, trailing by 10 to beat the Roadrunners on top of the blue floor in Bakersfield at the Icardo Center. Who knows? We might see a buzzer beater again tonight.
Yes, but it won't be from Trevlin Queen, unfortunately. But that's what I mean about when I was joking before about good riddance with Bakersfield leaving. There've just been some epic battles between New Mexico State and Bakersfield as we see Trev Queen and assistant coach Casey Owens.
Roadrunners had won 3 straight before losing by 7 last Saturday at home against Seattle. The Roadrunners bench has outscored the Aggie bench 19-3. The only bench points for the Aggies came on a made 3 in the first half from C.J. Bobbitt. 35 combined for Aure Coachea and Rice.
So here's what I mean, Adam. They're having trouble entering the ball to the post. They're having trouble getting the ball to the wing, and it's just that hyper-aggressive Bakersfield defense.
I asked Chris Gians the other day at the coaches show, I said, have you seen defense on the perimeter like this? He said maybe a few times because of the competition we have faced, but it's pretty impressive. Left-handed finish for Rice, who now has 18.
That was an incredible out-of-bounds play. That had me fooled watching. I thought that was what was going to happen, and it was sort of Jabari Rice was pretending to screen and then came off the screen. Brilliant out-of-bounds play by Chris Jans.
Adler Davis, a wide open 3, and Bakersfield has their first lead of the game.
Wow.
Adler Davis now 3 of 7 from beyond the arc. Rice to the rim. Left it short. There
Travel.
was some contact, and traveling is called. Aggie ball. Rice might have got hit in his right eye. Right now he's showing that to Sean Buchanan. This has been a really, really physical game on both ends.
And Edler Davis kind of breaking loose at the right time for Bakersfield.
Rice is hit before the inbound pass. So he will shoot 2 free throws. The Aggies in the double bonus. They're going to shoot 2 the rest of the way. Johnny McCann's trying to slow down Jabari here.
And that's Czar Perry's third, I think. Yep.
Still nobody outside of Stith with more than 3 for the Roadrunners, which is a little bit shocking because of how many fouls they've committed and how many guys had foul trouble early on in the game. Meanwhile, for the Aggies, 3 on Aure Coachea and 3 on Bobbitts.
Well, there's something that we always coach players not to do, talking to the shooter at the free throw line. Let's see if Jabari Rice can makes it anyway. But in general, you don't want to talk to the shooter. You can tell him later what the defense is or whatever it is, whatever the call is.
Who you're guarding is usually the discussion, right? Lead back to the Aggies, ahead by 1. 54-53 as we approach the 3-minute mark. 3 in double figures for the Roadrunners. 2 in double figures for the Aggies. Aure Coachea and Rice have combined for 39.
Oh,
Allen kept his pivot foot. Buckingham off the mark. Offensive rebound. Adler Davis and a fresh 20 for CSUB.
well, there it is, a key offensive rebound at exactly the right time for Bakersfield, the wrong time for the Aggies.
5 second-half offensive rebounds for the Runners. 8th best offensive rebounding team in the country, and they capitalize. A mid-range jumper on the baseline for Perry.
Well, Czar Perry with a really great medium game there. He's made 3 or 4 of those tonight.
Buchanan will initiate the offense. Terrell Brown with it. Ball screen, Aure Coachea. Rice with under 10 to shoot. Buchanan for Aure Coachea. To his left, banks it in. 21 for Ivan Aure Coachea.
Well, against a really stingy defense, the Aggies just kept working and working, finally got the ball inside.
New season high. Steal for Buchanan.
Great play by Sean Buchanan, heads up play, and the Aggies have the ball back.
McCants to Aure Coachea. Has positioning. Foul is called before the shot. Doesn't matter, he will shoot 2 anyway. Aggies going to the big man early and often.
Going early and often. He's just without Sean Stith in the game. But here he comes. Here comes big Sean Stith, Adam.
Career high for Aure Coachea is 23. He's 1 away. That was against UNM 1 year ago. That 35-point blowout against the Lobos. Ties his career high. Still a 1-possession game.
Well, now, Adam, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say the Aggies have to grab them. If it's a missed shot, the Aggies got to get this one back. If they can get this one back on a missed shot, they'll be in control.
The 19-game conference home win streak on the line. Moore from the corner. Buchanan leaps high for the rebound. Jump ball is called. Possession Bakersfield.
That didn't seem like it was long enough of a 4 hands on the ball to call it, but anyway, big rebound by Sean Buchanan there. Let's see if the Aggies can dig in again one more time here.
One timeout left for Rod Barnes, 2 for Chris Jans. Only one conference home loss since January 2012 for the Aggies. A 3, no good for Edler Davis, and Aore Coachea grabs his 8th.
Well, you talked about Sean Buchanan before, but boy, he has been a load for the Aggies here.
Timeout Chris Jans to try to execute offensively, ahead by 3 with 33.9 left. That man's been a star. Number 15 in white from Madrid, Spain, has tied his career high with 23 on 8 of 13 shooting.
And we'll turn this around now, Adam. If the Aggies happen to miss here, they'll have a chance. If they can get the offensive rebound, that could pretty much end the game. But I suspect that they won't be going inside Oro Cochea. I think that's what Bakersfield will be expecting. And I wonder if they'll use him as a decoy.
What do you do here if you're Bakersfield? Can you play this out? Do you have enough time left? There's about a 10-second difference, game clock, shot clock, one possession game.
I think so. And I've watched Rod Barnes closely over the years, and I think he'll go straight vanilla here. I think he'll play straight tough man-to-man defense and do their best to get a missed shot, and then they'd have to rush it down with 10 seconds to go. I can't imagine him going in some kind of half-court trap or double-teaming the ball or that kind of thing. I think he'll play it straight vanilla and just sort of see if he can get the ball back on an Aggie miss. I might be wrong. I'm wrong about half the time.
I think you're right because of how good this Bakersfield defense is. I think you trust your defense in this situation.
And I think he's got to tell Sean Stiff, don't play tentative now. If Sean Stiff plays tentative against Big Yvonne, the Spaniard will get a basket. So I don't think Sean Stiff can worry about falling. This is where the Aggies have trouble. They have trouble getting the ball in bounds and just executing simple passes.
Inbound goes to Aore Coachea. Roadrunners playing this straight up. They double team him. Dangerous pass. And Chris Jans uses his final timeout.
Boy, they almost had him.
Another issue right here is how long, lanky, and athletic the Roadrunners are. Like you said, it's tough to get it in because of who's guarding the inbounder and how great they are at denying the basketball.
That's right, and I wonder if it's going to be Oro Cochea who goes and gets the ball now, because Sean Stiff might, he's at 265. I thought he was 270. You say 265, but at that size he might have trouble keeping up with a more fleet post man.
Right now the Aggies in a really good spot, on possession, ahead by 3, but they are out of timeout.
Let's look for a crafty out-of-bounds play here from Chris Jans, who's a master of coming out of a timeout with a devastating out-of-bounds play. Let's see what happens here. I'm a little surprised Johnny McCants is in the game, just because he's not a great free throw shooter.
Buchanan will trigger. Moore guards the inbounder. The Aggies go in the backcourt for Brown. Double team is coming. Brown dribbles out of it. Buchanan to McCants. They want to foul McCants. They didn't get to him. They also want to foul Buchanan. Buchanan again. Aore Coachea now underneath.
Well,
but first a foul was called.
But if that's Stiff, he's out of the game. Yep. Nope. Sorry.
They wanted to foul McCants initially in the corner, and then Rod Barnes was screaming foul Buchanan.
Well, it's an indication. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Adam.
Who's a 72% free throw shooter, but historically not as good as that number is.
And I was going to say it's a mark of the confidence that Chris Jans has in Sean Buchanan, but he's not the Aggies' best shooter, best free throw shooter. Neither is Johnny McCants, but he's got them in here with the game on the line. And Buchanan pays off once again for Chris Jans.
Aggies 77% for the game, 76% in conference games this year. A much better free throw shooting team. Three officials will discuss: John Stigliano, Rob Kruger, Paul Guerrero. Not sure what they're trying to figure out here. But it might ice Sean Buchanan a little bit.
No, and no one's leaving early tonight. I'll guarantee you that.
maybe checking the severity of the previous foul, but can you do that after the first free throw is already in the books?
Or was there maybe an extra second that went off the clock? It's hard to know what they're. But they've been good about coming over and letting us know what their decision is.
Bakersfield scoreless in the previous 2 minutes and 14 seconds. A big reason why this one has turned into a 4-point Aggie lead.
It does seem as though there's some sort of clock issue, but it's hard to know. Well, and we're not going to find out either.
That was a time issue. Clock stays at 15. 4-point Aggie lead. One more throw for Buchanan. Last made field goal for the Roadrunners was when they took a 55-54 lead at the 2:29 mark. Buchanan splits the pair. Roadrunners have to hurry. Moore ahead. Buckingham pinballs in. 2-point game. And now Rod Barnes will use his final timeout. And the Aggies have to find a way to get the ball in with no timeouts remaining. I think every single assistant coach will be in that huddle reminding the players you do not have any timeouts left.
Well, let's hope so. Because occasionally there's a lack of communication, or someone sort of overlooks it or spaces it, but that's got to be what James Miller and Casey Owens are telling Chris Jans right now.
The Aggies will bring in C.J. Bobbitt for free throw shooting purposes. C.J. a 74% free throw shooter. I would expect him to replace Johnny McCants, who is only a 48% free throw shooter. At this point, you're trying to get your best free throw shooters in the game.
I think that's normally right, but it was a gutsy move by Chris Jans to leave Johnny McCants and Sean Buchanan in at the same time.
Don't forget the Aggies back home Saturday. They're going to play Grand Canyon, the annual Pack the Pan Am game. And they are hoping they have a 10-game win streak into that one. And normally you would have Evan Gilliard in the game down the stretch handling the basketball, but he's 8 of 16 from the free throw line for the season, so that's why he's not in right now.
And that's right, and Buchanan is actually a decent free throw shooter. He just doesn't shoot very many of them. He's only shot 18 for the year.
The Aggies will have Brown, Rice, Bobbitt, Ore Coachea, and the inbounder, Sean Buchanan.
And let's watch for it now. Sean Buchanan can run the baseline, I think, can't he, Adam? He can run the baseline if he wants to. Let's see what Chris Jans has up his sleeve. It's always interesting and often brilliant.
He just double-checked with the official to make sure he could run the baseline. He can after a made basket. Buchanan will inbound for Rice. Double team comes.
Ooh, that's
Buchanan
risky. Really,
ahead for Ore Coachea.
Boy, that made me nervous. Jabari Rice throwing it back underneath the basket. But they got away with it.
Is that one of the cardinal rules right there? Is do not throw it in front of the basket?
I was surprised that Jabari did it, but Sean Buchanan had the sense to get as close to Jabari as he could there. It wasn't exactly a cross-court pass, but it was a little nerve-wracking. And there's Sean Buchanan.
A young man from Durant, Mississippi, transfer from Northeast Mississippi JUCO, playing in his 91st career game as an Aggie tonight.
You know, he reminds me of Shane Batty, a completely different player, but the longtime pro who had no stats to speak of but always won. And that's very much how Sean Buchanan is.
Might have sealed it. 2-possession game. Perry. Moore. That'll do it. The Aggies survive their 20th straight conference home win, 10 straight wins overall, and it wasn't easy.
No, but at this stage of the season, I think it's hugely important for the Aggies to win close games, to be in close games and win close games, because they're going to need to do it in the WAC tournament. And I'll guarantee you, Adam, it'll be a very different game on that blue court in Bakersfield.
6 straight wins for the Aggies against the Roadrunners, and in typical Aggie Roadrunner fashion, it was a close game. Came down to the final minute, the final couple of possessions, and Sean Buchanan, who hasn't attempted many free throws during his career, able to seal it with the 2 makes in the final seconds.
Well, you'll get the scoop from Chris Jans here in a second.
23 for Aore Coachea, 20 for Jabari Rice. Rice was 1 off his career high, and Aore Coachea tied his career high here tonight. Aggie head coach Chris Jans is with us courtside. Coach, it's never easy against a Rod Barnes Roadrunners team, and it was a typical grinded out defensive game in the second half, and your guys found a way again.
Yeah, it wasn't easy, and you're right. It's never easy against them. The last 3 times we played them, we've really struggled. We knew it was going to be a rock fight. That's all we've talked about the last few days is, put your hard hats on because here they come. In the first half, we were excellent on the backboards. 0 offensive rebounds. I can't imagine they've had a half all year long, but eventually they start getting some, and the ones they got turned into baskets. But I'm proud of our guys. They found a way. They stuck together, made some free throws down the stretch to close it out.
Explain to us the trust that you have in Sean Buchanan, who's been an okay free throw shooter during his career, much better this year, to have him in the game down the stretch, and he made some big free throws.
He did. It wasn't necessarily for the free throws. At that point, I just felt like I knew what I was going to get with him in terms of organization, taking care of it, defending, maybe drawing a charge. He got a rebound and got tied up, but he was competing out there. And then I think he made 3 out of 4, if I'm not mistaken, maybe 4 down the stretch. But I certainly do trust him in tight situations.
Yvonne's rolling right now, 19, 19, and 23, scoring in his last 3 games, and he might have been at his best here tonight.
Yeah, he's just quick. His body looks great, and his comfort level is as high as it's ever been. And the beauty of it is our guys know it. I'm not urging them to throw it inside. They know where the ball needs to go, and that's a sign of an unselfish team. And I'm happy for him. I'm happy for him, and where we're at right now, we need him to play at a high level each and every night.
This one's in the books now, so we can talk about Saturday. Big atmosphere expected. Big crowd anticipated. Grand Canyon's turned into a little bit of a rival over the years as well, and should be fun Saturday night.
Yeah, I always look forward to that game. We've been 2-0 thus far in the Pac to Pan Am game. Mario and his staff do such a tremendous job of selling tickets and promoting that game, and I've said it time and time again, but for me personally, it gives me a touch of the history of this program when it's full like that. I heard a lot of stories about back in the day, and so for me to experience that one night of the year is really, really fun. Hopefully, we'll play better. We just haven't played well in those 2 nights since I've been around anyway.
10 straight. Coach, congrats on the win.
Thanks, Adam.
That's the Aggie head coach, Chris Jans. The Aggies able to win this one against the Roadrunners as they survive down the stretch. Sean Buchanan, some big free throws, and the final score is 61-57. 22 straight WAC regular season wins for Chris Jans and the Aggies. We're back for the postgame after this.